What's up, everybody? Let's talk about what happened in the stock market today. Well, not much. All-time new highs, 4498. Upper left-hand corner, August 25th, a little bit after the close of the futures market. I'm looking at the E-mini S&P 500 futures. You can see down there, excuse me, in the Stochastic Momentum Index, looking pretty strong. Momentum is up. Got a nice separation. So right there, that says we're probably, according to that particular indicator, we would see more upward pricing going into tomorrow. The Big Daddy forecast says very flat. So if there is upward movement tomorrow, the Big Daddy's saying it's just going to be, your typical kind of creepy crawly, watch the paint dry as you get another small candlestick. But it doesn't mean it can't be traded. Today's range was 21.75. That's not large by any means, but it's tradable. And over the last 2 days, if you took a long position and just was, did kind of swing trade, you can make some money. So definitely tradable, definitely profitable. VIX is a little bit down compared to yesterday, or about flat. So that's usually typical of the expectancy that price is going to move sideways or up, which is exactly what we're seeing. You go back 2-3 weeks, you can see all those candlesticks just, slowly working their way up, right? Okay. And then I'm not going to say anything about the very, very bottom, because I'm going to show you another chart here real quick about the S&P 500. I didn't trade the S&P 500 today, by the way, but I will get into what I traded and whether or not I made any money doing it, so stick around for that. Okay. Next chart. Same thing, S&P 500, futures, except on the bottom, I added the Russell 2000, and I also added the Dow Jones Transportation. Now you'll see there kind of in the middle, I wrote divergence continues to widen. What am I talking about? Well, if you look at the S&P 500 at the top, you can see a big green line I wrote, that I drew there, right, diagonally, all the way back from like May 10th to today. The market, this S&P 500 index has been moving straight up, right? Just moving, well, not straight up, but you know what I mean. Pricing's moving up. Now go to the Russell 2000. From June 7th, price has been moving down. Okay? And then below that, at the very bottom, you get the Dow Jones Transportation, which also from May 10th, so the same day that we pulled the line for the S&P 500, it's been trading down. So what's going on here, right? I talked about this before in some other videos in the past. I'll put a link in the description about the divergence that's going on. And so what's happening here? Well, we have a divergence, right? We have the S&P 500 that's going up, but we have the Russell 2000 going down. We have the Dow Jones Transportation going down. So what's happening? Well, I'm going to keep it really, really brief. The NASDAQ 100, which is when you're trading the NDX, or if you're looking at the NDX index, that's basically the NASDAQ 100. If you're trading usually, if you're trading the NQ futures product, that's also the NASDAQ 100. So it's the 100 stocks that make up that particular futures product, right, or index. So the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100, well, there's maybe 10 stocks, 15 stocks in there. Those are the only ones that need to really be bought to keep those particular indexes moving up. Okay. So what's going on? Well, you got you got some like self-reinforcement going on, right? You got the Federal Reserve and BlackRock pumping money into those two handfuls of stock to keep the S&P 500 going upward slowly. Like I said, it's like watching paint dry. So you get all-time new highs because they're pumping money into it, and those 10 or 15 stocks keeps the market going up. The big funds know what's happening, so they go ahead and they buy in as well, and it's just kind of this self-fulfilling prophecy, right? And the NASDAQ 100 is easy, right? You only need 10 of the top stocks to do the same thing. But they can't really do it with the Russell 2000, at least not easily. Because it's not the same, right? It's not 100 stocks or 500 stocks, and you only got to pick the best 10 or 15. No, the Russell 2000, you got 2,000 stocks in there. Sure, you got some better performers than others, but it's much harder to control the Russell 2000. And they have chosen to, or just simply can't, control the Russell 2000 to the same extent they can control 500 and 100 stocks respectively for the other two indexes. You follow me? And then the Dow Jones Transportation, either those are I think made up of 20 stocks or 30. I can't remember. I think it's 20. They're either just ignoring that index altogether, okay, and don't care about it, which is fine for us because we can get a true feel for what's really going on. Okay, basically the Dow Jones transportation going down means that less goods are being transported around America and even abroad, right? It's made up of trucking companies and shipping companies, meaning, freighters that go on ocean faring freighters, right? Ships. So you got less product being shipped. That's usually almost always historically a sign of an economy slowing down dramatically. Okay, so I just want to say, yes, there's new highs, and that's great. I'm going to trade it too. If I can find a trade in there, I'll trade it. Right now, there's better trades elsewhere, but yeah, I'm not opposed to trading the S&P 500 at all. Okay, but don't be fooled into thinking the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq represent what's really going on, because it's not a true representation. Just in case you're wondering. And yes, I still believe we're going to have a big, huge crash coming up in fall, winter. Okay, let's take a real quick look at crude oil, and then we'll talk about what I traded today. Okay, light sweet crude oil. This is the big contracts. Just after closing, I took this snapshot. We can see it was a pretty decent day. It was an up day. The range was 1.62, which is pretty solid range for crude oil for a given day. You can see the candlestick's a little bit weird there, and it has a little bit of a toppish feel to that candlestick, where the close was kind of near the open. Okay, the Big Daddy forecast says that it believes tomorrow the price is going to be slightly down. Momentum says the opposite. It says we're ready to go. Nice wide spread, right, between the two lines in the stochastic momentum index. Pricing going up. The volatility, the bottom indicator down there, is continuing to go down. That's typical when prices are going up. So we got two indicators saying the price is going to continue to go up. We've got the Big Daddy, which is a predictive indicator, so it's predicting the future, says price is going to go down. I'm going to keep an eye on the crude oil. If I think there's an opportunity there to trade and there isn't a better opportunity somewhere else, I'll trade it. I'll let you guys know. Okay, let's get into what happened today. What did I do? What do y'all think I did? Well, here it is. Okay, so this is the gold futures, E-micro gold futures. I talked about this yesterday, I believe. I said it looked like gold was set up for a really good possible trade, okay? But there's something I want to cover here today, really important. If you, excuse me, if you can see the little rectangle near the top, you may not be able to read it, but that's range, and it says 1.2. Okay, if you see the last candlestick, kind of in the middle of the chart with a circle around it, look how tiny that candlestick is. So this is about 9 minutes after the futures market opened up, okay? And I put a verbiage up there, some words, and I said, beginning of new day, take advantage of the small range with a question mark. So what does that mean? And the range, by the way, at this point, because the futures market opens up at 5 o'clock every day, my time, okay? That's the new day. In case you didn't know, futures opens up 5 o'clock Central Standard Time, 6 o'clock East Coast Time. Okay, and trades 23 hours a day. So what does it mean to take advantage of a small range? I think a lot of traders struggle with this. Think about it for a second. How many look at all the candlesticks before this candlestick. Do any of those candlesticks look as small as the candlestick on the far right at the moment that the market opened? Well, of course not, right? The market just opened, the candlestick just got started. But the point here is that there will always be range from top to bottom to top, the full length of the candlestick. Okay, whether it has wicks or not, or the body's filled in, or the body's hollow in the candlestick, doesn't matter right now. We're just talking about the range of the candlestick. Okay, so every single day, there's always sufficient range to make profit. I want you to get that. Every day, there's always going to be sufficient range, and whatever you're trading, especially futures, okay, for there to be opportunity for profit. And the only thing you need to get right is take advantage of that range. Okay? Timing and having a very good sense of what the range will be for that day and what direction it's going to move. Because sometimes it'll move in both directions. You'll have a candlestick that has a big wick on the top and a big wick on the bottom. And it can pretty much open and close right at near the same price. Okay? So what made me take this trade on this very beginning of the day, right at the open, which I'm not saying that I would always do that, but this day I did. Why would I do that? Why would I take a trade, which, by the way, if you look to the far right, was just one little contract. I shorted it. I shorted it basically right at the beginning of the trading day. So I had confidence that something was going to move in one direction or the other, right? I had a really high degree of confidence. I think a lot of people have talked about this before. They trade anxious, they trade nervous, they're chasing pricing, they're profitable 1 minute, they're down the next minute. That's no way to trade. You can't trade like that. I used to trade like that all the time. I know exactly what it's like. I used to be that way. Very nervous, trading nervous, scared, anxious, all that, you name it. Okay? So look down at the Big Daddy forecast. You can see it's pointing down. Okay? Momentum is really high, pointing up. So it's kind of telling us we're what? There's very strong momentum. It hasn't even rolled over yet. So why would I take a short trade on momentum that's looking like it's still going up? But my predictive forecaster is saying things are going to go down. It said that prior to this open of this session, by the way. It said that at the previous candlestick. So in a minute, I'm going to show you what happened with gold. Okay, what happened with my trading today. I want you to understand that range is always going to be available. There will always be profit opportunities every single day. Every day. There's always more than enough range to make profit. And you want to get to the place as a trader to where you can take advantage of the range and profit off of it. What you don't want to be doing is chasing pricing up and down and opening and closing positions and then you're making money, you're losing money. That's not trading, that's chaos. So you need to ask the question most traders need to ask themselves is, how do I get to the place to where I have a high degree of confidence of what's going to happen today with that candlestick? And how do I get to the place to where I'm not anxious? I'm not nervous about trading. That's what destroys a lot of traders. They're anxious, they're nervous, they're afraid to lose the money. They don't know how to lock in profits. They don't have patience, and they certainly don't have proper analysis about what's going to happen on that given day. Once you get to the place where you have a high degree of confidence that you think you know what's going to happen on that day, and it happens over and over and over, then your confidence would go up, right? And your anxiety should go down. But even though that I took a position, look at the position, it was really, really small. I have a high degree of confidence what I think is going to happen with gold on this day, but I still only took one little tiny contract because I want confirmation. I had somebody trolling my YouTube channel. They always do, whatever. It's part of life, And the guy said he put in comments like every single video for like the last 3 weeks. Talk about a troll. And he said, "Do you notice how he hides behind confirmation?" I'm like, yeah, okay. Meanwhile, the last 3 weeks I've been profitable every single day. So talk is cheap, right? But at least I back up what I'm saying. Anyway, I had to block the troll and get rid of his comments because he's you let that kind of thing go, and he was basically having people try to come to his website and buy a bunch of stuff. Yeah, okay. Have a nice life, troll. Okay, anyway, let's look at the next screenshot. Upper left-hand corner, 10:19. So this is remember the previous screenshot was from last night at 5 o'clock, the previous day. Now we're the next day at 10:19 in the morning. Same product. Look to the far right. I'm up $692. Remember in the last screenshot, I shorted one contract? It's not the same contract, by the way. You can see 7 of 6. So I had traded some contracts and closed some of them off. I closed 6 contracts and I only have one open at this point. In other words, I've gotten to the place in trading, and this is not about my ego or about me being perfect all the time, because I take losses too. I just try to keep them small and my profits big. Okay? But how did I get to the place where I have a lot of confidence that I knew what's going to happen with gold today? And look at that candlestick in the middle of the screen with a circle around at the top. Look at the size of that candlestick. It's huge. Remember, the previous candlestick was a really tiny little thing. I took the one contract, and as they say, the rest is history. Now, I didn't show you step-by-step me putting in trailing stops like I do in a lot of my videos, because you can go back and look. I'll put some links in the description. You can go back and look at previous videos on how to lock in profits with trailing stops. I'm not going to do it in this video, okay? So $692. Was it a good day from last night to today? Heck yeah. How many of you right now, I can't see you raising your hand, but, raise your hand, right? How many of you would take $692 for 1 day's worth of trading? Probably most people raise their hand, right? Now, there's guys and gals out there making 10 times this much. They're making $6,900 in a day. There's people out there making $69,000 in a day. But most people out there are not making even $692 a day. They're losing money. Well, they're making really, really small profits. Okay? Now, just real quick, if you look at the Big Daddy forecast, it's saying that tomorrow, well, this is not the last screenshot for gold. Okay, this was at 10 o'clock in the morning. So gold rebounded a little bit. Okay, but at this point, it was saying that the pricing would continue to go down. Look at momentum below that. Stochastic momentum index starting to kind of curl over a little bit, isn't it? Starting to cross over just a touch. Okay, and at the very bottom, volatility for gold says yesterday was 15.5, and now volatility today, I think, is 15.9. I think it's still that. It may have changed. But basically, volatility is going up, which would suggest that it's in agreement with the Big Daddy forecast and in agreement with the stochastic movement index. They're all pointing for more pricing to go down tomorrow. Though the wick at the very end of the day on the candlestick was a little bit more than I wanted, so a little bit of caution for tomorrow, but I still think it's going to be a down day. So what I want you to get out of this as I get ready to close this video today, guys and gals, is this. You want to get to the place where you have a high degree of predictability. How are you going to get there? That's the question, right? That is the question, isn't it? If you knew, or not knew, like you absolutely positively knew, but you had a high degree of confidence of what the market was going to do, or a particular futures product, whatever you're trading on that given day, that builds a lot of confidence, right? It gives you a lot of confidence because you have a high degree of confidence, so you trust that your decision about what you're going to make for trading is going to be a good one, right? That's the goal. Think about it. That's the goal. That's where you want to get. Everybody's journey is different. You have to push yourself. That doesn't mean be anxious or nervous or all that. You have to go through the maturing process. And unfortunately, that may include taking some losses along the way. I hate to say it, but that's the truth for some people. Okay, you can't trade. You want to get to a place where you're not trading scared. You're not trading with anxiety. You're trading with confidence. But you have to have the understanding and knowledge and experience and some wisdom, right? That's built up usually over time. So, you don't want to go around deceiving yourself. Okay, I'm confident today. I'm not anxious, but I have no idea what the heck I'm doing. That's no good, okay? That's you're just fooling yourself. Okay? So you have to push yourself. How did I get to this place? Well, I pushed myself. I kept pushing to become a better and better trader. Okay? And yes, I pray. I'm a Christian. I believe prayer helps. I had one guy tell me in the comment section that that he liked my video up to the point that I mentioned the sky god. I guess he didn't like my video anymore. But guess what? I don't really care. I told him nobody's making, your choice. Nobody's making you watch the video. There are literally millions of videos out there, right, guys and gals? If you don't like my videos, no problem. It's not going to hurt my feelings. You can go watch them, seriously. Here on this YouTube channel, we're about making money. Yeah, and we're about having a proper perspective about money, because that's important. Okay, hope you got something out of this video today. Go ahead and please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate that. Make sure you click the little bell to get notified as the videos I put them out. We'll talk to you all real soon again next time.